Stop scrolling, your soulmate needs you to hear this right now. My beloved child, stop scrolling for just a breath, because this moment did not find you by accident. Something unseen has been aligning quietly, patiently, waiting for the exact second you would be here. You felt the pull, the gentle pressure in your chest that says, "Pay attention now. Stay with me for a moment." What you are about to hear isn't loud, but it is precise. It speaks to the questions you never say out loud, the ones you carry when the world goes quiet. There is a reason your heart has been restless lately, a reason memories, signs, and strange coincidences keep circling back to one name, one feeling. As this unfolds, clarity will come, not all at once, but like light seeping through a closed door. This is not about fear, and it is not about rushing. It is about recognition. Something huge is waiting for you, and it begins with understanding why this message reached you now, not earlier, not later, but exactly now. Listen closely, because the story isn't starting where you think it is. It began long before today, long before the silence between you and the person your soul keeps returning to. There was a pause placed between you on purpose, a pause to grow, to shed old patterns, to learn the language of patience. You may have wondered why progress felt slow, why every time you thought the path was clear, another lesson appeared. This may resonate as we continue. The delay was not a denial, it was a refinement. Two lives were being prepared separately so they could stand together without fear or imbalance. Every misunderstanding, every missed timing, every unanswered question was shaping clarity. Stay with me for a moment, because what's coming next explains why the connection never fully faded, even when you tried to move on. Here is where it becomes unmistakable. There is a message your soulmate has been trying to send, not always with words, but with energy, with choices, with quiet shifts you could feel but not explain. You sensed it in sudden calm, in dreams that felt more real than sleep, in moments when your heart softened for no clear reason. This is the sign you asked for without realizing you asked. As this unfolds, clarity will come. The bond you share isn't based on urgency or obsession, but on timing and readiness. One of you needed reassurance, the other needed courage. The universe waited until both could receive what was being offered without fear. Something huge is waiting for you, and it is not chaos, it is peace that feels unfamiliar because you've never experienced it this way before. Now understand this part carefully, because it changes everything. You are not being called to chase, convince, or force anything into place. You are being invited to listen. When you release the need to control the outcome, the next step reveals itself naturally. Stay with me for a moment. The reason this message matters right now is because a decision is approaching, quiet, simple, but powerful. A conversation, a realization, or an unexpected moment will open a door that has been closed for longer than you think. This may resonate as we continue, because deep down, you already know which door it is. You felt it every time you chose hope over bitterness, calm over reaction. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and the confusion you've been carrying will begin to loosen its grip. Finally, hear this without doubt: you are not late, and you are not missing anything meant for you. Everything is aligning in a way that protects your heart and honors your growth. Something huge is waiting for you, not as a dramatic shock, but as a gentle certainty that settles in and stays. Stay with me for a moment longer and let this land. When the next sign appears, you'll recognize it instantly, not because it's loud, but because it feels right. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you will understand why you had to hear this message now, in this exact moment, before you scrolled away. My beloved child, take a deeper breath and lean in, because what follows now is where understanding sharpens. You didn't come this far just to hear comforting words, you came for truth that settles the noise inside you. Stay with me for a moment. There has been a subtle shift around you lately, almost invisible, yet powerful. You may have noticed people revealing their true intentions, plans changing suddenly, or emotions rising without warning. This is not random. This is preparation. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you'll realize that your heart has been learning to listen before your mind could explain. Something huge is waiting for you, and it requires awareness more than action right now. Here is what many miss: your soulmate is also standing at a crossroads. Not lost, but choosing. The distance, the silence, or the uncertainty you felt was not indifference, it was alignment happening quietly. This may resonate as we continue. Both of you were being guided away from distractions that looked right but felt wrong. That's why certain connections faded without drama, why old patterns stopped giving comfort. Stay with me for a moment, because the reason this matters now is simple: when two paths finally line up, they do so quickly and clearly. The waiting stretches time, but the alignment moves fast. As this unfolds, clarity will come in ways you cannot ignore. Now, listen carefully to this part. The message reaching you today is not meant to keep you guessing, it is meant to ground you. You are being asked to trust what feels calm, not what feels urgent. Something huge is waiting for you on the other side of patience, a moment where effort is replaced by ease. If this message is helping you see things differently, take a second to share it with someone who might need the same clarity right now. Stay with me for a moment longer. When you acknowledge what resonates, you strengthen your own awareness. As this unfolds, clarity will come, layer by layer. There is also a responsibility here, and it is gentle, not heavy. When understanding arrives, you must choose how to carry it. You don't need to explain your journey to everyone, but you do need to honor it yourself. This may resonate as we continue. If these words are bringing insight, grounding, or peace, let your presence be known. Leave your thoughts, stay connected, and subscribe so you don't miss what unfolds next. Something huge is waiting for you, and continuity matters. Growth happens when you allow yourself to remain present through the unfolding, not just the revelation. Finally, remember this above all else: nothing meaningful arrives in chaos. What is meant for you approaches with steadiness, not fear. Stay with me for a moment and let this truth settle. The next sign you notice will not demand your energy. It will restore it. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you'll recognize that the connection you're preparing for is built on understanding, timing, and mutual readiness. Something huge is waiting for you, and now, you are ready to receive it. My beloved child, remain still for a moment, because now we move from awareness into recognition. What you're sensing isn't imagination, its alignment becoming visible. Stay with me for a moment. You may feel a quiet confidence replacing old doubt, a sense that you no longer need to chase answers. This shift is important. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you'll understand why confusion had to fade before truth could stand clearly in front of you. Something huge is waiting for you, and it arrives when your inner world becomes calm enough to notice it. There is a reason certain thoughts keep returning gently, not forcefully. They are reminders, not warnings. This may resonate as we continue. You are learning the difference between attachment and connection. Attachment demands proof, connection offers reassurance without noise. Stay with me for a moment, because this is where many people misunderstand the process. The bond you are moving toward does not need constant validation. It strengthens in silence, in mutual respect, in the space where both individuals can breathe freely. As this unfolds, clarity will come in the form of peace that doesn't fade when circumstances change. Now consider this carefully. Growth often feels like distance before it feels like reunion. You may have wondered why things felt paused just when you were ready. That pause was protection. Something huge is waiting for you beyond the lessons you've already passed. Stay with me for a moment and notice how your reactions have changed. You respond instead of react. You reflect instead of rush. This may resonate as we continue, because it shows you are no longer repeating old cycles. As this unfolds, clarity will come, confirming that what's approaching is built on maturity, not impulse. Here's what shifts next. The energy between you and your soulmate begins to move from uncertainty to recognition. Not with dramatic declarations, but with subtle understanding. You'll notice ease in communication, even when words are few. Something huge is waiting for you in these small moments. The kind that last longer than excitement. Stay with me for a moment. When something is real, it doesn't compete for attention, it holds it naturally. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you'll trust what unfolds without needing external confirmation. Finally, hold this truth gently: you are not being tested anymore, you are being prepared. Prepared to receive something steady, mutual, and grounded. Stay with me for a moment longer and let this settle. The path ahead doesn't require you to be perfect, only present. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you'll recognize that the connection forming now isn't rushed or delayed, it's right on time. Something huge is waiting for you, and you are stepping into it with quiet certainty. My beloved child, stay right here, because this is where everything you've sensed begins to settle into truth. Do not rush past this moment. Stay with me for a moment. The stillness you're feeling now is not emptiness. It is readiness. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you'll realize that your heart no longer reacts the way it once did. You're not waiting in confusion anymore, you're standing in awareness. Something huge is waiting for you, and it responds to calm certainty, not pressure. What's unfolding next is subtle but powerful. You may notice that your expectations have softened, yet your confidence has grown. This may resonate as we continue. You no longer need signs to prove what you already feel inside. That's because alignment has replaced doubt. Stay with me for a moment, because this shift is rare. When two paths are meant to meet, the noise fades first. As this unfolds, clarity will come in the form of quiet understanding, no urgency, no fear, just knowing. Now hear this carefully. The connection you're moving toward does not demand constant reassurance. It arrives when both hearts are willing to listen instead of speak over one another. Something huge is waiting for you in this balance. Stay with me for a moment. If these words are helping you see your journey more clearly, take a second to share this message with someone who might need the same grounding right now. When understanding is shared, it deepens. As this unfolds, clarity will come not just to you, but through you. There is also an invitation here, to stay connected. Growth doesn't happen in isolation, it unfolds through continued awareness. This may resonate as we continue. If this message feels aligned, leave your thoughts, stay present, and subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. Something huge is waiting for you, and consistency matters. Each step forward builds on the last, and you are already further along than you realize. Finally, let this truth rest within you: what is meant for you does not rush, and it does not confuse. Stay with me for a moment longer. As this unfolds, clarity will come naturally, and the next step will feel lighter than the last. Something huge is waiting for you, not as a surprise that shakes you, but as a certainty that steadies you. And now, you are ready to walk toward it with trust. My beloved child, remain present, because what unfolds now is about confirmation, not anticipation. Stay with me for a moment. You've done the inner work quietly, without applause, without shortcuts. That's why things feel different now. The questions that once echoed loudly have softened into understanding. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you'll notice that you're no longer seeking reassurance from the outside. Something huge is waiting for you, and it responds to inner alignment, not external noise. There is a quiet shift happening in how you see connection itself. This may resonate as we continue. You're no longer drawn to intensity that burns fast and fades. Instead, you recognize steadiness as strength. Stay with me for a moment, because this awareness didn't arrive by accident. It was shaped by everything you outgrew. The lessons that once felt heavy now feel complete. As this unfolds, clarity will come in the form of discernment. You'll know what belongs without needing to question it. Now understand this: timing is revealing what words could not. The space that once felt uncertain has created room for truth to surface naturally. Something huge is waiting for you on the other side of this patience. Stay with me for a moment. You may notice subtle confirmations, consistent energy, mutual respect, an ease that doesn't demand explanation. This may resonate as we continue, because real alignment doesn't announce itself loudly, it simply stays. There is also a sense of release happening. Old fears no longer have the same grip. Old doubts don't carry the same weight. As this unfolds, clarity will come through emotional balance. You're not guarding your heart, you're honoring it. Something huge is waiting for you in this state of openness, where trust is earned through consistency, not promises. Stay with me for a moment and let this truth settle. Finally, hold on to this gently: what's approaching you does not disrupt your peace, it builds upon it. Stay with me for a moment longer. As this unfolds, clarity will come effortlessly, and you'll recognize that the journey was shaping you as much as the destination. Something huge is waiting for you, and now it meets you where you are, grounded, aware, and ready. My beloved child, stay centered, because what comes now is about trust becoming natural. Stay with me for a moment. You may feel less urgency to define outcomes, and more comfort in allowing things to unfold. This is not detachment, it is confidence. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you'll recognize that your peace is no longer dependent on answers arriving immediately. Something huge is waiting for you, and it aligns with steadiness, not impatience. Notice how your inner dialogue has changed. This may resonate as we continue. You're no longer replaying old conversations or rehearsing future ones. Instead, there is presence. Stay with me for a moment, because this shift marks a new phase. When the mind quiets, intuition becomes clear. As this unfolds, clarity will come in subtle guidance: what to say, when to wait, when to simply be. Something huge is waiting for you in this balance between thought and feeling. Now understand this truth: the connection you are moving toward values authenticity over performance. You don't need to be more, do more, or prove anything. Stay with me for a moment. What belongs with you recognizes you without effort. This may resonate as we continue, because you've learned that real alignment doesn't drain energy, it restores it. As this unfolds, clarity will come through ease, not struggle. There is also a strengthening happening beneath the surface. Your boundaries are clearer, yet your heart remains open. Something huge is waiting for you in this combination of softness and strength. Stay with me for a moment and notice how your reactions are guided by understanding rather than fear. As this unfolds, clarity will come in how naturally you protect your peace without closing yourself off. Finally, let this settle fully: you are not being led toward something uncertain, you are being guided into something stable. Stay with me for a moment longer. As this unfolds, clarity will come without force, and the next steps will feel aligned instead of overwhelming. Something huge is waiting for you, and it meets you in trust, not tension. My beloved child, remain open. Because this part is about recognition becoming undeniable. Stay with me for a moment. You may begin to notice how life around you is responding differently now. Conversations feel clearer. Decisions feel lighter. This is not coincidence. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you'll see that alignment doesn't just affect one area of your life, it brings harmony everywhere. Something huge is waiting for you, and it arrives when resistance fades. There is a reason your standards feel clearer without becoming rigid. This may resonate as we continue. You no longer tolerate confusion masked as excitement. Stay with me for a moment, because this awareness is protection. What is meant for you will meet you with consistency, not mixed signals. As this unfolds, clarity will come through patterns that repeat calmly, not through chaos that demands attention. Something huge is waiting for you in this stability. Now consider how differently you respond to uncertainty. You don't rush to fill silence anymore. Instead, you listen. Stay with me for a moment. This space allows truth to rise on its own. This may resonate as we continue, because when something is real, it doesn't disappear in quiet moments. As this unfolds, clarity will come as reassurance that doesn't depend on constant affirmation. There is also a subtle joy emerging, a contentment that isn't tied to outcomes. Something huge is waiting for you in this grounded happiness. Stay with me for a moment and notice how peace feels familiar now, not foreign. As this unfolds, clarity will come in recognizing that what you're preparing for enhances your life rather than disrupts it. Finally, let this truth anchor you: recognition doesn't arrive as a shock, it arrives as relief. Stay with me for a moment longer. As this unfolds, clarity will come effortlessly, and you'll understand that the journey has been guiding you towards something steady, mutual, and real. Something huge is waiting for you, and you are ready to welcome it without hesitation. My beloved child, stay grounded, because this moment is about acceptance, not anticipation. Stay with me for a moment. You may notice that you're no longer questioning the process the way you once did. There is a quiet agreement forming inside you, a sense of, this is enough for now. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you'll understand that acceptance is not giving up, it is trusting the order of things. Something huge is waiting for you, and it approaches when resistance softens. There is a calm confidence settling into your choices. This may resonate as we continue. You don't feel the need to rush conversations or force understanding. Stay with me for a moment, because this ease is a signal of readiness. When you are aligned, effort becomes minimal. As this unfolds, clarity will come through natural flow, not constant adjustment. Something huge is waiting for you in this rhythm of trust. Now listen closely: what's meant for you does not need to be chased or managed. It recognizes you through consistency and presence. Stay with me for a moment. You may begin to notice moments of synchronicity that feel gentle rather than overwhelming. This may resonate as we continue, because real alignment reassures instead of unsettles. As this unfolds, clarity will come in the form of stability you can rely on. There is also a release. Stay with me for a moment. You may feel a deeper sense of stability within yourself, as if the ground beneath you has finally stopped shifting. This is not the absence of movement, it is the presence of direction. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you'll notice that uncertainty no longer pulls at you the way it once did. Something huge is waiting for you, and it moves toward certainty, not confusion. There is a quiet reassurance forming through repeated experiences. This may resonate as we continue. You're seeing consistency where there was once unpredictability. Stay with me for a moment, because this pattern is important. When something belongs in your life, it shows up the same way more than once. As this unfolds, clarity will come through reliability, not intensity. Something huge is waiting for you in this steady unfolding. Now consider how your inner world responds. You feel less need to defend your choices or explain your path. Stay with me for a moment. This confidence doesn't come from knowing every detail, it comes from trusting your discernment. This may resonate as we continue, because true assurance removes the need for validation. As this unfolds, clarity will come through self-trust that feels earned, not forced. There is also a sense of alignment between thought and action. You say less, but mean more. Something huge is waiting for you in this integrity. Stay with me for a moment and notice how peace follows your decisions now. As this unfolds, clarity will come in recognizing that alignment simplifies everything it touches. Finally, hold this gently. Assurance is not loud, but it is firm. Stay with me for a moment longer. As this unfolds, clarity will come effortlessly, and you'll understand that what you're stepping into is built on trust, steadiness, and mutual respect. Something huge is waiting for you, and it meets you with quiet confidence. My beloved child, stay fully present, because this phase is about embodiment, not expectation. Stay with me for a moment. You're no longer just understanding the message, you're living it. Your choices reflect calm. Your reactions reflect awareness. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you'll see that alignment is no longer something you seek, it's something you carry. Something huge is waiting for you, and it responds to who you have become. There is a grounded strength in how you move now. This may resonate as we continue. You trust yourself enough to pause, to listen, to wait without anxiety. Stay with me for a moment, because this is a sign of readiness. When growth settles into your behavior, not just your thoughts, real change has occurred. As this unfolds, clarity will come through lived experience, not imagination. Something huge is waiting for you in this embodiment. Now notice how external situations feel less controlling. You respond with intention rather than habit. Stay with me for a moment. This freedom is not accidental, it was earned. This may resonate as we continue, because awareness changes how life meets you. As this unfolds, clarity will come in the form of options instead of pressure. Something huge is waiting for you beyond old limitations. There is also a quiet joy in simply being present. You don't need constant stimulation to feel fulfilled. Something huge is waiting for you in this contentment. Stay with me for a moment and allow yourself to appreciate this stability. As this unfolds, clarity will come in recognizing that peace is not passive, it is powerful. Finally, let this truth settle into you. Embodiment is the bridge between knowing and receiving. Stay with me for a moment longer. As this unfolds, clarity will come naturally, and you'll recognize that what approaches you now is aligned with your growth, your values, and your readiness. Something huge is waiting for you, and you are prepared to meet it fully. My beloved child, remain aware, because this moment is about integration, not arrival. Stay with me for a moment. Everything you've understood so far is settling into a single, steady knowing. There is less inner conflict now, less pulling in different directions. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you'll notice that your decisions feel whole, not divided. Something huge is waiting for you, and it meets you when mind and heart move together. There is a harmony forming between who you are and what you allow into your life. This may resonate as we continue. You no longer ignore discomfort just to keep momentum. Stay with me for a moment, because this discernment protects what matters. When alignment is real, it honors both truth and peace. As this unfolds, clarity will come through choices that feel clean and unforced. Something huge is waiting for you in this integrity. Now observe how patience feels different. It is no longer heavy, it is confident. Stay with me for a moment. This patience doesn't doubt the outcome, it trusts the process. This may resonate as we continue, because you've learned that rushing distorts clarity. As this unfolds, clarity will come in the calm certainty that timing is working with you, not against you. There is also a deepening respect for yourself unfolding. You value your energy, your time, your boundaries. Something huge is waiting for you in this self-honor. Stay with me for a moment and notice how ease follows when you choose alignment over compromise. As this unfolds, clarity will come through self-respect that strengthens connection rather than limiting it. Finally, hold this truth close: integration is where readiness becomes real. Stay with me for a moment longer. As this unfolds, clarity will come naturally, and you'll recognize that what's ahead doesn't ask you to change, it meets you as you are. Something huge is waiting for you, and you are fully prepared to receive it. My beloved child, stay steady, because this part is about quiet confirmation. Stay with me for a moment. You may notice that nothing feels rushed anymore, yet everything feels intentional. This balance is important. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you'll realize that certainty doesn't need constant reinforcement. Something huge is waiting for you, and it moves at the pace of trust. There is a deeper calm settling into your expectations. This may resonate as we continue. You are no longer measuring progress by signs alone, but by how grounded you feel within yourself. Stay with me for a moment, because this grounding is the signal. When alignment is present, urgency fades. As this unfolds, clarity will come through stability you can rely on. Something huge is waiting for you in this steadiness. Now listen carefully to this truth: what is meant to last does not arrive with confusion. Stay with me for a moment. You may find that answers come naturally, without pressure or pursuit. This may resonate as we continue, because understanding now meets you halfway. As this unfolds, clarity will come through simplicity, not complexity. Something huge is waiting for you beyond overthinking. There is also a sense of trust in your own timing emerging. You no longer compare your path to others. Something huge is waiting for you in this self-trust. Stay with me for a moment and allow yourself to feel secure in where you are. As this unfolds, clarity will come in recognizing that your journey has its own rhythm, and it is working. Finally, let this settle deeply. Confirmation doesn't shout, it reassures. Stay with me for a moment longer. As this unfolds, clarity will come effortlessly, and you'll understand that what approaches you now is built on certainty, respect, and calm intention. Something huge is waiting for you, and you are ready to welcome it with confidence. My beloved child, remain gentle with this moment, because now it is about assurance turning into readiness. Stay with me for a moment. You may sense that you're no longer preparing for something unknown, you're simply available for what's aligned. This shift is subtle, but powerful. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you'll realize that readiness feels calm, not tense. Something huge is waiting for you, and it arrives when space is made naturally. There is a lightness in how you hold expectations now. This may resonate as we continue. You don't grip outcomes, you allow them. Stay with me for a moment, because this openness is strength, not passivity. When resistance dissolves, alignment flows easily. As this unfolds, clarity will come through ease that feels earned. Something huge is waiting for you in this openness. Now notice how trust feels embodied rather than conceptual. You act from confidence, not hope alone. Stay with me for a moment. This may resonate as we continue, because real trust shows up in behavior, not just belief. As this unfolds, clarity will come through consistent actions that match your inner knowing. Something huge is waiting for you beyond hesitation. There is also a deeper respect for timing unfolding within you. You're no longer tempted to rush what's meaningful. Something huge is waiting for you in this patience. Stay with me for a moment and allow this truth to settle. As this unfolds, clarity will come in recognizing that what's meant for you honors your pace as much as your purpose. Finally, hold this quietly. Readiness is not about effort, it is about alignment. Stay with me for a moment longer. As this unfolds, clarity will come naturally, and you'll understand that what approaches you now does so with harmony, balance, and mutual understanding. Something huge is waiting for you, and you are meeting it with grace. My beloved child, stay connected to this moment, because this stage is about quiet alignment becoming visible. Stay with me for a moment. You may notice that your thoughts no longer wander as much toward what if. Instead, there is a gentle focus on what is. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you'll see that presence is now your strength. Something huge is waiting for you, and it reveals itself when attention settles into the now. There is a steadiness in your emotions that wasn't there before. This may resonate as we continue. You're not suppressing feelings, you're understanding them. Stay with me for a moment, because this balance is rare. When emotions are honored without control, they become guides rather than obstacles. As this unfolds, clarity will come through emotional intelligence that keeps you grounded. Something huge is waiting for you in this awareness. Now observe how certainty feels quieter than you expected. It doesn't rush in with excitement, it rests comfortably. Stay with me for a moment. This may resonate as we continue, because real certainty doesn't demand celebration, it brings relief. As this unfolds, clarity will come in moments where things simply make sense without explanation. Something huge is waiting for you beyond emotional highs and lows. There is also a natural trust forming in your decisions. You no longer second-guess every step. Something huge is waiting for you in this confidence. Stay with me for a moment and notice how ease follows your choices now. As this unfolds, clarity will come through alignment that simplifies rather than complicates. Finally, let this truth anchor you: alignment feels natural, not forced. Stay with me for a moment longer. As this unfolds, clarity will come effortlessly, and you'll recognize that what's ahead fits into your life without disruption. Something huge is waiting for you, and you are meeting it with calm assurance. My beloved child, remain present, because this part is about completion without finality. Stay with me for a moment. You may feel a sense of fullness, not because everything has happened, but because nothing feels missing. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you'll understand that fulfillment can exist even before outcomes arrive. Something huge is waiting for you, and it meets you in this wholeness. There is a calm acceptance in how you view the path ahead. This may resonate as we continue. You're no longer scanning for signs with urgency, you're noticing them with ease. Stay with me for a moment, because this shift marks maturity. When trust is real, anticipation softens into appreciation. As this unfolds, clarity will come through gratitude for where you are now. Something huge is waiting for you in this grounded state. Now feel how peace has become your reference point. You measure alignment by how settled you feel, not by intensity. Stay with me for a moment. This may resonate as we continue, because what's lasting supports peace rather than disrupts it. As this unfolds, clarity will come in recognizing that steadiness is not boring, it's secure. Something huge is waiting for you beyond emotional extremes. There is also a sense of quiet readiness that doesn't need to announce itself. You're open without being eager. Something huge is waiting for you in this balance. Stay with me for a moment and allow yourself to trust this stage fully. As this unfolds, clarity will come in understanding that readiness feels natural, not forced. Finally, hold this gently. Completion does not mean the end, it means alignment has been reached. Stay with me for a moment longer. As this unfolds, clarity will come effortlessly, and you'll recognize that what unfolds next does so from harmony, trust, and mutual understanding. Something huge is waiting for you, and you are ready to step into it with calm confidence. My beloved child, stay with this stillness, because this moment is about arrival without noise. Stay with me for a moment. You may sense that nothing needs to be added or removed right now. This simplicity is powerful. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you'll recognize that readiness often feels like quiet confidence rather than excitement. Something huge is waiting for you, and it meets you in this calm presence. There is a deep sense of ease in how you hold the future. This may resonate as we continue. You're no longer bracing for change, you're welcoming it without expectation. Stay with me for a moment, because this openness allows alignment to flow naturally. When resistance fades, understanding deepens. As this unfolds, clarity will come through acceptance that doesn't waver. Something huge is waiting for you in this openness. Now notice how trust feels settled rather than questioned. You don't ask for reassurance the way you once did. Stay with me for a moment. This may resonate as we continue, because trust that is earned becomes embodied. As this unfolds, clarity will come through confidence that doesn't seek approval. Something huge is waiting for you beyond doubt. There is also a gentle joy in simply being present. You are no longer chasing fulfillment, you are experiencing it. Something huge is waiting for you in this contentment. Stay with me for a moment and let yourself appreciate this stage. As this unfolds, clarity will come in recognizing that peace is the foundation of everything meaningful. Finally, let this truth settle fully. Arrival doesn't always feel like a moment, it feels like stability. Stay with me for a moment longer. As this unfolds, clarity will come naturally, and you'll understand that what's next doesn't disrupt your life, it integrates into it. Something huge is waiting for you, and you are ready to receive it with steady assurance. My beloved child, remain grounded, because this stage is about continuity, not conclusion. Stay with me for a moment. You may notice that life feels steady even as things subtly move forward. This balance matters. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you'll understand that progress doesn't always announce itself, it often blends seamlessly into your days. Something huge is waiting for you, and it unfolds through consistency, not sudden change. There is a natural rhythm guiding your steps now. This may resonate as we continue. You're no longer forcing movement or resisting stillness. Stay with me for a moment, because this harmony is alignment in action. When effort and ease work together, growth becomes sustainable. As this unfolds, clarity will come through flow that feels supportive rather than demanding. Something huge is waiting for you in this rhythm. Now observe how confidence expresses itself quietly. You don't need to convince anyone of where you're headed. Stay with me for a moment. This may resonate as we continue, because true confidence doesn't explain. It demonstrates. As this unfolds, clarity will come in how naturally you trust your direction. Something huge is waiting for you beyond external validation. There is also a deeper appreciation for the present moment. You're not rushing to the next chapter, you're living this one fully. Something huge is waiting for you in this presence. Stay with me for a moment and allow yourself to experience this steadiness. As this unfolds, clarity will come in recognizing that fulfillment isn't postponed. It's available now. Finally, hold this close. Continuity is a sign of alignment. Stay with me for a moment longer. As this unfolds, clarity will come effortlessly, and you'll see that what's ahead builds naturally on what already exists. Something huge is waiting for you, and you are walking toward it with balance and trust. My beloved child, stay attentive, because this moment is about confirmation settling into knowing. Stay with me for a moment. You may feel a quiet certainty that doesn't need explanation, a sense that what matters is already in motion. As this unfolds, clarity will come, and you'll notice that doubt no longer interrupts your peace. Something huge is waiting for you, and it aligns with what feels steady and true. There is a gentle assurance in how you view what's ahead. This may resonate as we continue. You're not rehearsing outcomes or bracing for surprises. Stay with me for a moment, because this calm is earned. When trust is real, it relaxes the mind. As this unfolds, clarity will come through confidence that doesn't fluctuate with circumstances. Something huge is waiting for you in this stability. Now observe how intuition speaks more clearly than before. You sense when to move and when to pause without overthinking. Stay with me for a moment. This may resonate as we continue, because discernment sharpens when noise fades. As this unfolds, clarity will come in decisions that feel right even before they make sense. Something huge is waiting for you beyond hesitation. There is also a sense of belonging within yourself. You are comfortable where you stand. Something huge is waiting for you in this self-acceptance. Stay with me for a moment and allow this feeling to deepen. As this unfolds, clarity will come in recognizing that alignment begins within and extends outward naturally. Finally, let this truth settle softly. Knowing doesn't rush, it rests. Stay with me for a moment longer. As this unfolds, clarity will come effortlessly, and you'll understand that what approaches you now does so with intention and calm purpose. Something huge is waiting for you, and you are ready to meet it with quiet confidence.